though. Roy's reeled out of that one as Martin goes stepping through the middle of the field. Not going to find too many tired forwards just yet, but look for that later on in the day. As Marshall goes to the sky, down to Miller. He didn't look comfortable under it at any point, but he takes it all the same. A bit of a tester there is Gus Marshall, real second effort in the tackle. The referee lets him get away with that one. And again, going for that one-on-one strip there is Sparrow. Not allowing him to have it on this occasion as DeVorms tracks across field, uses his speed to get to the outside of Binskus, but he tracks with him and makes the tackle. Now North Beach through Papworth. They're up over the halfway line to the 40-metre line. Gulliver Brown, he's a real goer. Plays it back to Buckley. Now it's going to be Wallace to test them out. Gray chasing through. The ball allowed to bounce. It goes between everyone. Tapped forward, I believe, from McDonald and over the sideline in any case. Always a dangerous pastime to allow the ball to bounce. No one really took ownership and wanted to catch that bomb. In the end, it works out okay for Joondalup, but they've been all down this end so far. Binskus. Real workman-like centre. Doesn't do a lot wrong. Certainly haven't seen him let his team down at any point so far this season, and kicking early in the count. Marshall looking for a 40-20. Didn't quite get the bounce that he wanted. Wanted that to run on. Just sort of sat up. But a good tactic. Turns the Sea Eagles around. They're back there quickly wanting to get on with things. Falling as he came to the defensive line there. Bo White. Oh, solid contact. Getting up there, Conrad Poi goes whack on Gray. Gray, it might be his first game back from injury as well. After that Magic Round game, last time these two teams met, as McDonald gets away from Marshall. Marshall comes again, ragdolls him, gives him a little bit of a facial as well for good measure. McDonald, he just cops it, doesn't say anything, just gets on with things. Gus Marshall, he's certainly looking to make a statement, and so far he's been allowed to get away with a few things. Buckley dribbles one in behind, into space, a pretty good kick. Picked up by Turner. Turner runs into Buckley, who holds him up before the reinforcements arrive and drive him backwards. They dominate that ruck. Gray looking to make a bit of a statement with his defence as well. A couple of good shots. Turner has his second carry in this set. Said, you can't rough me out of this game, boys. Now Martin, well, it's really been the outside backs coming in to do a bit of the work here for the Giants. And they are, for the most part, getting dominated in the ruck. White. There's a great carry from Bo White. Pulls out the other side. He's looking for support. He's got Hansel Burns with him. Dummies to him. Keeps going. Great run there from White. They were in trouble in that set until that point. Now they're right on the attack. The pass. It goes out wide to Poi. Poi. Dummies. Floats one over. Here's a chance out in the corner. A pass that probably didn't need to be thrown. Goes into touch. I think that original pass from Poi called forward in any case. So it's Jared Poi. Floated one over. That was the pass that was called forward. So everything that happened after that doesn't really matter. But there's two good plays there from the Giants. Back to back. Really asking a question. We talked about the North Beach being the best attacking team in the comp, although there's an error. It's the Joondalup Giants, the number one defensive team so far this year. And so far, it's the defence that's winning the day. They've been able to repel the Sea Eagles. And now they'll get a chance to test out the shaky defence of the Sea Eagles. Their first real attacking opportunity for Joondalup. Ansel Burns at the base of the scrum. It's Marshall out to this left-hand side. The sweeper at the back in Martin. They go to Martin. He dummies to the underneath runner. It was 2-on-1, but not in the attacker's favour. McDonald makes the tackle. Captain looking to make up for his early error. Carries that forward. Ansel Burns at dummy half. Fido Kelly keeps the legs pumping, driving towards the line, looks to spin over. I think he's over, but can't get the ball down. So held up, he'll come back 10 metres. And Marshall goes right to the line. Rolled over, put down. Ansel Burns goes out the back with Martin. Martin to White. White, he got them down this end. Plants that over the line. A great try. Well, the post is rocking. Don't bother knocking. The Giants, they score first at home and lead 4-0 with the kick to come from right in front. Bo White, hasn't he had a start to this game? Gus Marshall, well, you wouldn't think he'd have any trouble at all with this one right in front. North Beach, they had all their chances early. And really the first time Joondalup get down this end, they make it count. And it is that power through the middle that has caused the headaches for the Sea Eagles. Marshall does the right, he pilots that one over, and it'll be the Giants to lead 6-0 on the Cash Converter scoreboard here in MND Awareness Round. Well, the Sea Eagles, we mentioned again that Magic Round game, that they were dominated in that game, North Beach, really. They played for about 15 minutes and came back and snatched the game at the back end, with Cade McDonald putting on a bit of a show. They're a team that's capable of doing a lot of damage in a short space of time. It's McDonald that gets us back underway. A deep kick. Sits up in the in goal for Irvine. Well, that could have gone anywhere. It probably should have been a dropout. And Irvine, big strong carry from him. After a bit of heart and mouth stuff from the kickoff. They haven't handled the kickoff so well. Captain came up with the error. Davey Martin didn't look comfortable under that one. Fitter Kelly again stands. Looked to throw the offload over his shoulder, but pulls it back in. They look to get through a set after points. White, again, footwork at the line, but that time runs into a shoulder of Jaden DeVorms. Marshall goes to Captain. Must have thought about kicking it, decided not to. Now he will on tackle 5. He comes around to this short side, Marshall, so they're going to go the other way to Poi to put the kick in. He gets underneath one. It's rolling end over end. It's going to be a contest. It's knocked on by Joondalup. The referee's called it that way. Tuiiti thought he was off for the prize, but Adam Roy is down in back plate. The referee stopped the clock. So he's on his haunches, trying to. He looks like he might have copped one in the ribs and just trying to suck it in. Hopefully, it's nothing more sinister than that. And he's just got the wind knocked out of him. North Beach, they're ready to play the ball, even though it's their player that's out of the line. It looks like it does look like he's got a lower leg injury. It's not just a winding. That's terrible news as he makes his way from the field. North Beach, they have to go to their bench now, and looks like they'll be down a man for the remainder of this game. It's McDonald. Goes out to Gray. Gray looks to get to the outside. Does. Turner does well. Just couldn't line up McCaskill. Didn't really have enough room to work in. Maybe got crept up a little high there, Hansel Byrne, but then he might have copped a bit of friendly fire. Inside to Miller. Miller. Probing, asking questions and flopping in late, giving away the penalty. And North Beach, a chance to strike straight back. Jeremy Wallace just having a word to the referee about something he didn't like. McDonald kicks for the sideline. Comes into Gray, he's just going to tap and take the metres on offer. Runs into Irvine. So they want to come out to Wallace. Wallace goes out wider to Miller. Miller over the shoulder, ball put down. Well, that all amounts to not much there, Chaz Palmer. Pass, not the best from Miller, but you've got to catch them. They let the pressure off very quickly, very easily. Joondalup to feed the scrum. To Eady. Shown that he's got a bit of speed if he gets a little bit of room. And he's come up with a terrible play of the ball. Well, that was a knock-on for your life, and it's been allowed to go. We play on. Joondalup still with the ball, lucky to have it. It's White again, looking to fight with Gray. Fido Kelly tips that on to Irvine. As the front rowers combine. Another quick play of the ball. Sparrow. Sparrow gets away from one. A good, strong run from Brad Sparrow. Gets up, goes again, told to go back to the mark where he was originally tackled. Now that ball hits the deck. Poy's going to have to go back and clean it up. Throws it wider. They're going to have to create something here from nothing, and they might just do that. The second kick through Turner. And in front of the kick. Oh. Well, it's a penalty to North Beach. Joondalup must have taken out one of the Sea Eagles players. The referee's picked it up. It was a dangerous situation once that Turner got the ball in hand there. A good touch finder from McDonald. Puts the Sea Eagles once again down into attacking territory. McCaskill just waiting for the ball. So he can put it back into play. And again, it goes across to Gray. He taps this time. They go towards the middle of the field. North Beach through Shepherd. Now with Wallace, dummies on the inside, goes to the outside to Papworth. Papworth flicks it out the back to Miller. Danger signs, and Bailey Miller goes around, scores, improves the position as well. And North Beach get there first, but the brilliant work from Papworth drew in 2, 3, 4 defenders, then flicked the ball out to Miller. His footwork one-on-one was always a danger. At 6-4, we might be about to be locked up. McDonald will have the conversion attempt. Try and level this one up. Wouldn't think he has too many troubles with this. Moves in, and the flags go up. Can certainly be a difficult job at times for the touch judges here at Admiral Park. The goalposts, they don't extend very high, so quite often the conversion attempts go well above the actual sticks, so there can be some difficult decisions, particularly when the wind gets up. But it's nice and calm here today. Beautiful winter's evening. There's that kickoff from Marshall. Spiral torpedo kickoff, if you like. Papworth, the man to bring it back, after being heavily involved in the lead up to that last try. Now the Seagulls just looking to get through a set after points. Build a bit of pressure. Wallace. Out wider, there's a nice run. Out on that touch line. Comes back to Wallace to finish off the set, putting the ball down, and Davey Martin, he's had to track that one backwards. He's hoping that one's going to run over the dead ball line. It looks like it will for him. He'll have the easy carry back to the 20-metre line. Not quite the outcome that the Giants, with the Seagulls rather, were hoping for. Josh Horton, his impact off the bench last week was considerable. He'll look to match that here again today as Davey Martin just takes the tough, hard carry. Playing above his weight there as Horton, his second run in this set. He always likes to wear the jersey that has the highest number on it. He's out there in 24 again today. White goes out the back to Poi, a juggle from Binskus. He somehow managed to reel that in before it hits a Seagulls player. Tuaiti out of dummy half. Get some good metres and they'll have an attacking kick here at the end of this set. Comes to Poi. Poi bombing across field. Should be an easy catch here for McCaskill and an easy walk to the 20-metre line. So he takes off. Wants the quick tap. Takes it. Sees some opportunity, but runs into Marshall. Picked up and slammed to the deck and knocks on. Well, Josh Horton making his presence felt there on Brock McCaskill. That was physical, certainly nothing wrong with the tackle. And the ball pops out, and why wouldn't it? McCaskill, he's wandering around like every bone in his body is broken. He's a little bit sore and sorry. After that tackle, as I said, Josh Horton, he's again come off the bench and had an immediate impact as Poi gets one-on-one with Wallace, and Wallace, he goes for a ride. But he does his best, holds on, and they make the tackle. But straight away, after dominating that ruck, an offload there from Irvine to Sparrow. Sparrow's put down, can't really take advantage of that second phase. They dummy one way, they go the other, and White puts it down. He throws the ball down in disgust at himself. He knows they wasted an opportunity there. And a simple error. He'll be looking to make up for it in this set, no doubt. Well, it's hard to know who's really on top at this point of the game. Both teams have had good passages of play. Neither team with any sustained period of dominance. First contact there from Capdean, impressive, but they work down a short side. This is where McDonald is dangerous. Goes to Gray. Gray, plenty of Giants numbers there, so nowhere for him to go. They adjusted well. They know exactly what they're looking for from Cade McDonald. And North Beach just working it out of their own end with Shepherd. Now it comes back to McDonald. The kick from inside the 40 with a tight angle. Turnus Well, he's always got it under control, but he's let it go all the way back to the try line before he gets the bounce that he likes. Look at the way he charges back, though. He runs into the shoulder of Buckley, and Buckley comes off second best. He's got a real stinger or a burner or whatever you like to call it. His arm is dangling. He's trying to shake that off. After getting in the way of Luke Turner, he goes all the way out to the wing. The Giants do well to target this side of the field. A mistake, though, from Sparrow in trying to play it too quickly. Let's North Beach off the hook, but what a way to start that set from Luke Turner. Buckley looks like he's starting to get some feeling back into his right arm. He jogs over towards this scrum. Back down at lock, and you don't really get a chance to have a bludge when you're the dummy half. You've got to be there at every ruck. It's Miller. He's been dangerous so far. Looks the man most likely for North Beach. Scored their first try. Papworth. He's a guy that'd be well worth following as well. Gulliver Brown just tips it on. Now Shepherd straight into a hole. Great ball from McDonald. Davey Martin does as well as he can. They make the tackle, but a quick play the ball. Miller at dummy half goes to McDonald. McDonald fires the long ball. It's out with DeVorms. DeVorms dancing, can't line up his winger, but does throw away one defender. And a penalty. That time for flopping in late. Just slowing it down unnecessarily. Well, they were on the front foot there, North Beach. That must have been a consideration for further action, but 6-all. Allow the game to flow, let the players sort it out as Gulliver Brown takes it forward for North Beach. Bit of working over of the leg. Now with Wooten. He's out onto the field. Gulliver Brown again. Comes to McDonald. McDonald, that ball hits the deck to Gray. Gray just looks to create something himself. He's got up clutching at his face, so not too happy with something that's gone on there. Shepherd. Well, a bit of momentum has gone out of this set. McDonald tries to reel it back with a kick in behind, but it finds legs, dived upon by the Giants. They get out of this one. It's been a fascinating first half so far. Still 15 minutes to go in this half as Martin looks to reel away from the first man, as he so often does. Captain. And a penalty, well, that's a relieving penalty for the Giants. There wasn't too much doing in that set. And now they start another set on the North Beach side of the halfway line. With Poi, slow play the ball. Horton runs at Gulliver Brown, leaves him behind. Great run from Josh Horton. What a game he's having so far. Marshall goes to the short option this time with Capteen. He'll play it back to White. White at dummy half, goes for a run himself. Looks to use his strength, powering towards the line, spins over it, but onto his back and held up. Just couldn't quite find the grass. Now the ball to Marshall. Goes to Poi, the ball hits the deck, and a knock on. Well, the defence from both teams has been pretty good, but it seems whenever a team has an opportunity, there's no building of pressure. They just come up with a simple error just about every time to let their opposition off the hook. might be Buckley, the first carry off the scrum win. Wooten off the bench, onto the field. The Seagulls just try and get out of their own end. They're not doing a great deal with the ball so far this set. Goes to Wallace. Maybe he's going to do something a little bit more expansive. It comes out wider and an opportunity down this touchline. Flicked back infield, but can't keep it in the field of play. Well, that was certainly a bit more expansive. The pass from DeVorms put Ethan Buckley away, but unable to stay in the field of play. So again, they hand over possession in pretty decent field position. So the Giants, they'll be looking to score their second try at the back end of this set. It's Captain. Legs lifted up by Shepherd, but no problem. Tuiti bounces away from the first. No room for him to work in, though. It's Martin. He skips out a dummy half. And with Horton. Goes to Martin. To White. To Sparrow. Sparrow bounces away from Wallace. Puts boot to ball. And goes into touch. Well, he bounced away from Jeremy Wallace a couple of times, but the kick at the end of it didn't quite have the measure that he wanted. It must be said that Gus Marshall probably hasn't quite taken the control you would like to see for Joondalup. Davey Martin perhaps not getting as involved in that area either, and they just look a little lost at the end of some of their sets. Not quite coming up with the right options. Wonder if that'll prove telling the longer this game goes. McDonald kicks it into a Giants player, and they're able to go back and clean it up. So good pressure on the McDonald kick, dived upon by Poi. And they just keep starting with pretty good field position at the moment. North Beach unable to complete their sets with any sort of poise either. And now Martin pulls out of the tackle. Look at that footwork that he puts on Miller. He'll dot down right under the sticks. Well, a Davey Martin special. A little bit of individual brilliance breaks this game open. Davey Martin just bounced straight through the teeth of the North Beach defence, and that bit of footwork that he put on Bailey Miller, well, I don't know whether Bailey will want to see the replay of that one. A real ankle breaker left clutching at air. As Davey Martin puts the Giants back in front. We haven't really had to see too much of a goal-kicking display. It's been pretty simple stuff for both kickers so far. Gus Marshall can turn around, kick this one with his hurl and march back to the halfway line. So he puts it over and the Giants lead, 12 points to 6 on the Cash Converter scoreboard. Fuel to go and play Premiership Round 8, MND Awareness Round. Doesn't quite have that one placed on the tee the way he wants there, Cade McDonald. There's another go at it. Throwing that one a little bit lower, off the post. The the big unit, Fido Kelly. With the carry to get us back underway. Now Captain carries Gray. And just Gray carries on a little bit too long in the tackle. He gives a bit of push and shove. He's not too happy with something that's gone on in the tackle. And he's being called out by the referee. He does have a fiery streak, Jalen Gray. Where's his heart on his sleeve? And he's still got some words for Riley Captain there. He wants him to run at him. This could be interesting. Well, Turner spots a gap. Well, they just left it open, and he almost pulled their pants down, but Cade McDonald was able to close down the space quick enough. Now with Poi. Runs into Blake, who's out on the field. Well, James Blake looking to have an impact for North Beach. Poi didn't like it either. Gets up, gives a little shove. Now White to Marshall, to Captain. He goes through Gray. Gray won't like that either. Now with Martin, well, he's got a couple of players in front of him. He still spins out of a couple of tackles, bounces away from another. Well, talk about creating something from nothing. Well, Davey Martin almost does it again. Now to Marshall. Marshall, they go across to Poi. Poi carries Wallace over the line, plants it, and the Joondalup Giants stretch their advantage. Well, Gus Marshall got his hands on the ball in good ball area a lot more in that set. It created that space on the outside, was able to isolate Jared Poi one-on-one with Jeremy Wallace, got onto his outside shoulder, carried him over the line. Wallace did a reasonable job as a half, but he tried desperately to hold him up. He's actually stayed on the ground, Wallace, so might have come up with some sort of injury. It looks like he's started walking towards the sideline, but going to stay on the field for the time being. Marshall with his most difficult kick of the day. Looks to be about 10 in from touch. Keep an eye on the touch judges. They've moved out to the side, but they put the flags up. So Marshall knocks that one over. That's 18 points to 6 on the Cash Converter scoreboard. The Giants starting to really get into their work. North Beach, they seem incapable of getting out of their own end. Giving away penalties, dropping the ball, charge downs, going into touch. They've been their own worst enemy for the last 10 minutes or so. Still got 4 minutes until half time. Could be a very important last 4 minutes. It's Captain. Good strong run. Bounces away from the first. Just throws Sam Wooten off. Now Fido Kelly keeps the legs moving. Another good 10, 15 metre run. Gets up, plays it pretty quickly. Now it's Joondalup. Really rolling forward and testing out this North Beach defence. Looking to step through there, Carruth. Now to Marshall. Marshall turns that one underneath to Poi. That's Conrad Poi. Now to Jared Poi for the kick on the last. He gets underneath it. Tester here for the winger. He's got up, taken it. Looked to have dropped it down into his bread basket, but holds on to it there, Ethan Buckley. He does well enough. North Beach, they really look like they're under the pump. They need a bit of individual brilliance. Can Gray provide it? Gets the bumper bars up, driven towards the sideline. And as Gray told to go back to the mark and play it, he hasn't gone back far enough. Ted Shand is out there at dummy half. That one goes over the shoulder of Shepherd. It's ruled to have gone backwards. North Beach, they get a bit of a break, something that goes their way, but then a knock on in the ruck from James Blake. Well, they had something go their way, but they still managed to come up with the error to put themselves under pressure. With 2 minutes now until the break. This is a huge set of 6. Marshall goes out to Martin. Martin to Poi. Poi. Great run there from Jared Poi. Tuiiti out of dummy half. Goes towards the try line. Just a bit of a settler, really. Now an underneath pass. That's Raya. Flat ball. Fido Kelly towards the line. The pass was more than flat. It's called forward. Well, Joondalup, they had a chance there to stretch their advantage. That could have been terminal for North Beach if they'd have been able to get across. They've held strong, stayed firm. And we do know if they stay in this game for long enough, they can create something of their own. Gray, well, he's had a real mixed bag in this first half. He has been worked over. He's not liking the treatment that he's getting, but he's getting plenty of it. And the referees are allowing it to go at the moment. McDonald, he's copped a bit himself. Now we see North Beach just trying to get out of their own end. Trying to come up with the big play on every play, but this time a bit of a settler there from Blake. Comes out the back to Wallace. Wallace puts boot to ball. And it bounces in the field of play and into touch. And there's the halftime siren.